Good morning, everybody, and welcome, Kojo. I am so pleased that you're here joining us today because this proclamation is special for me because while you and I might have started in different places in our lives, each of us took different paths, but we both leaned into journalism and found an incredible love for our community. And I studied journalism at American University and went on to work at CNN for a dozen years. And you, Kojo, attended McGill and went on to work at American University's WAMU for 23 years. And I remember listening to you when your show started. And after I graduated college, at the point in my life when I realized that I wanted to make the Washington region my home, your show really started resonating with me even more. And it made me think deeper about our community and about the decisions that brought our community to where it was, about the decisions that were currently before us, and about the questions that future residents and leaders will need to answer in order to keep our community strong and compassionate. And that's clearly the power of a good host, which you are, but also as a former producer, I'll say that is the power of a good staff too, something I know that we all appreciate. And another skill that you have is being an incredibly good listener. And that is something that those of us in elected office need to possess, as well as good journalists, because we need to listen to the needs and concerns of our residents. And whether they are our constituents or your audience, the community is the same. And as you have exemplified during your career, we need to continue listening and work really hard to lift up the voices that might not be heard because they are busy working multiple jobs or caring for family or simply feeling intimidated to participate. But those voices are out there and they simply need to be amplified. And you have done an incredible job amplifying them on radio frequency 88.5. And I know that we at the council will continue lifting up all voices here in Montgomery County, Maryland's most populous and diverse jurisdiction. And so, Kojo, thank you for sharing your voice over the airwaves for all of these years. And I'm pleased to have all of my colleagues join us this morning in the reading of this proclamation to honor you and your public service and local journalism, because journalism is a public service and one that is so necessary to ensuring a thriving democracy. And so now I will turn it over to Council President Hucker, who can start the proclamation, and I look forward to reading this with all of my colleagues.
Thank you, Councilmember Glass. Kojo, I'll just add very quickly how honored I am you could join us today. Your show's been so important to me personally. I know it's been important to all my colleagues. I think we've all become better policymakers because of things we've learned on your show. We're so glad that the Politics Hour will be sticking around, but everything that Councilmember Glass said is absolutely true. You've helped us learn so much about our community. You've helped inform our residents about issues that are before their lives that have helped them to engage with us in a much more meaningful and rich way. And you've always been a voice that just made us feel at home. So thank you so much for the legacy that you've left, for all your service. And we're so glad and honored to honor you this morning with this proclamation. So the first line, whereas Kojo Nnamdi has been a fixture on our airwaves since he began hosting the Kojo Nnamdi Show on WAMU 23 years ago, delivering vital news and opinions for the Washington region. And
whereas Nnamdi was born during a time of political turmoil in Guyana and later moved to Canada before eventually arriving, thank goodness he did, to the District of Columbia. And
whereas, always active in his community, Nnamdi has used his talents and the power of radio to help bridge the gaps that exist in our diverse region. First as a news editor and director at Howard University's WHUR-FM, and then joining WAMU. And
whereas Nnamdi has always reached across political, racial, and economic lines to elevate the voices of the most vulnerable residents while holding its most influential accountable for their actions. And
whereas Nnamdi has educated, enlightened, and entertained his audience on innumerable topics, including education, gentrification, race relations, sports, architecture, food, and poetry, all from a local perspective, and
Whereas hosting Kojo in your community has become a rite of passage for every neighborhood undergoing difficult challenges, allowing residents to publicly share their thoughts about community change in an honest and respectful venue. And may I say that it's an honor that I consider Kojo a neighbor, of course, because as a Venezuelan American elected official back home, we are neighbors, and that's always been really awesome. And
whereas the Politics Hour with Kojo Nnamdi is confirmation that all politics is local and is an inviting forum for listeners to engage with regional leaders and ask direct questions, which is crucial for a free and functioning democracy. Love you, Kojo, and
whereas thousands of listeners, I often say millions, and it's probably true in your case, throughout the DC metropolitan region appreciate Nnamdi's remarkable ability to guide a conversation and get at the heart of any person or issue. And
whereas Nnamdi's trailblazing style and content over the airwaves will never be replaced, as he truly embodies the spirit of Montgomery County in his selflessness and devotion to his community and neighbors. Now, be it hereby resolved, the County Council of Montgomery County recognizes Kojo Nnamdi for his outstanding contribution to local journalism and civic engagement. Presented on this, the 13th day of April in the year 2021, signed by Council President Tom Hucker and myself, Evan Glass. Congratulations, Mr. Nnamdi.
Thank you all very much. I am deeply honored by this resolution and will continue certainly on the Politics Hour to try to keep the tradition of both listening and engaging with our community for as long as I continue to do that. And despite the fact that I am really happy about this proclamation, you can expect tough times when you appear on the Politics Hour. But thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Kojo.
Take care.
Glad you could join us today.